Hey, good evening to everyone. This is Let's Chat on Guyanese Own Businesses, Tuesday, June 3rd. I'm your host, Wazim, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for tuning in, whether you're watching this now live or you'll be watching it later right here on Facebook or on our YouTube channel. Remember, do subscribe to YouTube. And as you can tell, I do have a guest tonight with me. I advertised this on the page, and I have had a few folks reaching out and finding out more, and they were very interested in this. So I hope to see these guys on the live with me tonight and interacting. Remember, I love to have make this an interactive program, so feel free to drop your comments in there as we go along. And as you can see, my guest is Dr. Shanti Persaud, all the way out in beautiful Guyana tonight with me. So thank you, Shanti, for joining me.
Thank you, Azim. Thank you for having me.
Not a problem at all. It's a pleasure meeting up with you. We'll get into it. We actually went to the same high school way back. Many years ago in the 90s. So thanks, Shanti. And Shanti is actually a transformational leader coach. And what I'll do, I'll get Shanti to introduce herself. She'll do a much better job than I would. So go ahead, Shanti.
Uh, well, yes. So I know that you mentioned we are from the same high school. So, it's really long back and getting to see Wasim now. But
Yes.
what do I do here in Guyana is that, a few years back, it was something that a burden on my heart to see our nation transformed. And everything was just on leadership. And my heart is that I wanted to see leaders who would be in a position to serve people and not to serve themselves or their own agenda. And so that is what was breaking my heart. And I thought, you know what? That is the area I want to be able to help. And so I went and studied. I did my doctoral degree on transformational leadership because that is the area I wanted to, impact per se. So lead to influence was birthed out of this whole concept from John Maxwell that says leadership is influence. And so we name it lead to influence, meaning that each one of us, we could step into our role and lead with influence. And when I say influence, because we can have positive and negative influences, and the idea is to have a positive influence on the lives of people. So whether in public sector, private sector, might be in your community, or maybe just in your home. How can you be a transformational leader that brings change, positive change in the areas you are? So that's what we do. We work with leaders from different organizations in the public and private sector, where we do leadership development programs. We do training, we do coaching, mentoring, all in line with that, with the leaders and their teams, so that they can have a better organization.
And Shanti, if I missed it, how long ago did you start this? I know you said you went to study and it had to be a lot of work. So when did you finish your studies and you started on this journey?
So I've been coaching maybe over 10 years now
Wow.
and also in training, but Lead to Influence was registered only 4 years now.
Okay.
And yeah, so it's legally there. But we do have a foundation too that we use also to do other um, work that is through organizations, through schools, to help develop the leaders in or the leadership in each individual there. So we have that arm of it too that we work with.
Okay. And what when you first started this, you said about 10 years ago you started coaching. What were some of the challenges? I know it's a totally different route you took, right? From what you were doing prior to this.
So one thing in Guyana especially is that this seems like a foreign topic to many people here.
Mhm.
Where coaching is concerned, when people think of coaches, they think of like a business, a sports coach instead of a business coach. And when you try to bring that concept, that okay, why do you need a coach? And sometimes I let them know that even maybe all the Fortune 500 companies, Google, all these different companies have a coach working with their CEOs, and somebody who can be a sounding board for you, somebody that can help you maybe just question you certain things and help you to think it through, come up with a decision, help you to move forward, help to hold you accountable. People are not accustomed to that, and sadly after so many years too is that people are still not fully open to that. The foreigners them understands that and more would open up for something like that, but many Guyanese businesses, business owners also are not accustomed to like coaching, even training. Sadly,
Hmm.
was him.
Yeah,
Even training, our people have not reached a point to understand the importance of exposing your people to training that is going to help them. And if you help them, they're going to help your business
of
or your
course.
organization. So that kind of mentality is still being worked on, sadly.
So it is always challenging with our community. I love our people. I love my community. That's why we're doing this every Tuesday night. But those are some of the challenges. A lot of businesses and yourself. I can tell you're very passionate on what you do. And so, what does leadership on a personal level mean to Shanti Prasad?
So for me, it is about influence. And as I
Hmm.
said, it's about a positive influence. I do see that many people choose, oh, I want to be well, they consider a supervisor. You have to be leading a team or be in certain position. So the key there is to be in a position, and they consider themselves as a leader. And for me, the leadership is not about a position or a title, and
Hmm.
it's about service. And many people don't even want to hear that word, like servant leadership.
Hmm.
So, but that is what my heart desires. That if you are going to be in a position that to take a company, take a person, and I must back up to say leadership first starts with you, because if you don't know to lead yourself, then you can't lead a team or
Of
you can't
course.
lead anything forward. So starting with you, and we heavily work with that aspect with people to help them to learn. Start leading yourself first, and then someone else or a group or what else you want to do. But the idea is that when you step into those roles, or to see it as I'm there to serve a bigger purpose, and I'm there to serve the people. I'm there to serve the mission of the organization or the company. I'm there to serve and not to be served. And so that idea, though many people don't want to hear anything like that,
So,
and that yeah, I am there so that how can I benefit from this? How can I get more? How can I achieve what I want per se? So it's about their agenda instead of
mhm.
service.
And what do you find? I know you mentioned you deal with businesses, nonprofits, government organizations. It's all different. How can you speak on that a little more? How different are these three different organizations with leadership? I know it's got to be challenging. You mentioned that. Which is more challenging in your eyes?
Sadly, well, I don't know if, but it is in the public sector, and I think
Okay.
everyone knows that, because the I would say the leadership aspect, people showing up, it have a lot to do with the people that is leading them, and also as an individual, as I said, if you're going to learn to lead yourself, when you show up in an organization where you're working, or when you show up, you will want to give your best. So
Hmm.
because you are leading yourself well, but then what happened is that many organizations, they look down, oh, the boss is not doing this and this body not doing that, so why should I do it? And we have this kind of disengagement happening. So for the government organization, sometimes I find too that it's just like a checklist. Oh, I need to get a training done, and let me finish with it. But our heart is about transformation. We want to see that when we interact with you, we work with you, that something that is changing, something based on the area that we are talking about, whether it is on management, whether it is on marketing, whether it's team development or something communication, that we want to see those things start changing in your organization. But if it's just a checklist that tick,
Hmm.
I've done the training for the year and that's it. So people, if they start seeing training as something else, I think they will start making different decisions per se. So you engage someone, I need a training on communication. These are the problems we are having in the organization. Can you tailor something for us that can speak into that area? And
Oh,
that's
okay.
mostly what we do too with private sector. For the nonprofit organizations, so a few churches, um, like there are like other foundations that are there too. So there's this a colleague of mine have this girl stand up where she targets young girls in helping build them their leadership,
Oh, okay.
exposing them to different stuff. And so those kind of organizations, I volunteer actually to speak in those places or provide a training. Sometimes in the church executives, I will do all the training on succession planning or leadership. And
Hmm.
yeah, so that's how we work. For the businesses side, it could be different things. It could be we do have like a business club right now where small businesses get to get some knowledge and at the same time some coaching to help grow their businesses. And many times it's about the individual because they do know what they have to do, and it's
Hmm.
why are you not doing it?
Yeah. You mentioned the club. It's a club, so obviously these businesses have to sign up. Is
Yeah.
it directly from your website, Lead to Influence? Can you shed some light on that?
So we do have our website, but I don't think the club information is updated on the
Okay.
website yet. But yeah, it's something that we advertise. It's specifically for small businesses and also people who wants it. So it's not for everybody because people think that okay, you'll come and oh, you'll tell me what to do. This is, unless you're willing to work and do the work, I don't work with you
Hmm.
because I'm not
Hmm.
going to and do the work for you. So you have
Yes.
to be willing that, I'm going to sit with my coach and I'm going to plan and, set all the goals. And these are
Uh-huh.
the things how we're going to go about doing it. And then you go back and you get it done. And that's how you move forward. But then if you're going to go and then come back and then I didn't do anything and then come back again, I didn't do anything, then you know we do
Uh-huh.
have some sit down to understand okay what is the thought process as to what is happening there that's preventing you from taking action, and
Okay.
then we
And
work.
yeah. And then you work with them. Obviously that's the mindset, right? We got to get our community looking into that direction now, especially with the country. It's on the world stage now. Everyone knows about Guyana, especially the past 4 or 5 years. I travel for work, and everyone knows about Guyana and what's happening in Guyana, and the improvements and all that. So we do need to get the businesses on. But just before we go on, I got to say welcome to the viewers, and good evening to you guys. Thank you as always for supporting this page, Guyanese owned businesses. Tonight, as you can tell, I have a guest with me. It's Dr. Shanti Persaud, who's a transformational leader coach. Her passion is helping, as you heard from her. If you're just tuning in, we'll hear a little more, helping leaders grow both on a professional and a personal level. So, Shanti, what makes Lead to Influence stands out from the other programs out there, the other like competition out there? What would you say?
One time I was in the a training with the army,
Hmm.
and somebody asked me that question at the end, so why should I be in your training?
Hmm.
What makes you different from all the other training that I have been through? And I've learned all these. And so, in one easy way, I usually say the difference is me.
Good, good.
And
That's an excellent answer.
yeah, so all trainers, coaches have their own style
Hmm. Hmm.
and also their experience. So despite studying for my doctoral degree, is that every year I set a development goal, and every year to be exposed to different experience that keep adding value to me to stay relevant and credibility, so that
Hmm.
when I work with you, that it's not somebody who have just passed through something. I have gone and get certified in the International Coaching Federation, so that I've been through the processes. I understand, you know, the whole concept, and it's just not somebody who woke up one morning and, okay, I'm a
Hmm.
coach now. You want me to coach you like that. But the credibility side of it, I'm not sure how many coaches in this country also would have gone through the amount of training that I've been through and
Hmm.
continuously developing and all of that.
And you mentioned the challenges that you faced. What are some of the challenges leaders face that you've gone into, especially in Guyana? I know you've traveled the world. We're gonna and attended conferences and spoken to groups. We're gonna get into that a little bit later. But what what do you think, or what did you see some of the challenges are that our local leaders in Guyana faces today?
I think with some of them that are reporting to higher authorities,
Hmm.
they are not empowered. So despite they might want to do certain things, some of them are not empowered to make certain decisions. And then sadly, few of them that I've met in many different regions, they're not visionaries. And so again, if you're not exposing yourself to keep growing, certain things would not come naturally to you. And so you're in a position to do something, but then you're not doing anything. They're not I am not saying all of them, so
Oh,
I'm not
yes.
painting all of them with one brush. There are some of them very, visionary people that implement some different thing, want to see their organization keep improving and moving, and they're doing things to make it happen. But then there are some of them that it's just there because I don't know if it's a salary for them or what. That's all they're there. And so you're not seeing things
Hmm.
improving the way you thought it would have improved. So there's the empowerment issue, there is the knowledge base issue. There are so many aspect of, as a leader, are you keep improving yourself? Because something we always teach is that if you're not growing, you're dying. And
Hmm.
therefore if you know you stuck pretty much at the level you're at unless you keep exposing yourself to learn more and grow. And if you
Absolutely.
also, the other aspect too is that, are you interested in your people? And that's something that I don't see a lot with many leaders. Do they see people as human doings or human beings? And there's a problem there.
Hmm. Yeah. And have you, I know you've gone into a few businesses and spoken to different type of leaders and different types of leadership. Is there a story that stands out that you've seen a transformation after you've dealt with them?
Well, there are few people that I would have worked with, and you know that you get a lot of feedback after a
Hmm.
session or through a coaching and mentoring session. No, Shanti, because of working with you, I've realized certain things about me, and they will share that, and now I start doing this particular thing. So like one client one time, she was in a small business, and in our first session with me, she figured out this is not what she wants to do. And she really she wanted to work with one of these high tier one company in
Hmm.
Guyana doing health and safety. And so we end up coaching along that line there to help her to get into that industry. And so there are a few businesses that working with them with their business plan, working with them, setting goals with their team, and working through that, and growing their business, started new portfolios per se. So there are a few different stories. Some are maybe on an emotional level, kind of. improvement. Some
Hmm.
are more on their goals, per se, their KPIs for their companies that would have improved. And yeah, so it's different for
It's
everyone,
different.
pretty much.
And I gotta say, as we continue our conversation with Dr. Shanti Persaud out in Guyana, the CEO and founder of Lead to Influence, I gotta welcome everyone else that's on the live right now. Thank you guys so much for your support. We've got a few businesses on Great Canadian Oil Change, two different owners on there, Mr. Anil from Scarborough and Mr. Chris Braham out in Brampton, Mr. Rishi Singh from Remax Realty. Good evening to you, Mr. Cecil Harry Charan, and everyone else on the live. We're speaking to Dr. Shanti Prasad out in Guyana. As I just mentioned, she's a transformational leader coach and leadership coach. And Shanti, how does this leadership play a role in a development of a country? You're from Guyana, we're from Guyana. So what do you think? How does it play a role in the overall development of the country?
So there's something that I've learned that, where there's a lack of vision, the people perish. And
Mm,
where strong leadership is concerned, I think, you look across many nations, you'll see leaders who took their country. There, you'll see leaders who took their organization from one state to the next. So nationally, and I come back down to the individual, because that is our goal, is that if you improve, it's likely you'll improve the place you're working. And if you improve the place that you're working, then that place would also benefit in the community improvement, and the community improve, the country improves. And so you have this kind of rippling effect that is going to happen because you took a stand to keep improving, where you are planted. And that is how I see it. Because if in a particular organization, per se, and I want to make things happen, I'm gonna do what's necessary to make it happen. And so it's important that we think along that line. Why am I here in this position, and how can I start thinking ahead, as in next level and next level and next level, so that we can
mhm.
see a nation transform pretty much. I know that one person cannot do that, and it takes a multitude to get make that happen. But I do believe that if we all come together, maybe it's a dream or fantasy, I don't know.
No, one person
That,
has to start it. So there you go. You get it
yeah,
started, and then everyone will follow. They see the benefit in that and the positive outcome at the end of the road that can happen and affect, as you mentioned, the nation.
yes,
So,
definitely.
yeah, and got to welcome a few more folks saying good night. Miss Lolita out of Axel Insurance. Good evening to you and the family, Lolita. Miss Sati, George, and Harry out in New York. Welcome. And Shanti, I know you've been traveling. You attend various conferences. What's the most recent conference you attended, and what did you come away from that conference with? What did you gain at that conference?
I was traveling, but
Yeah.
it's not necessarily a conference. But
Okay.
I was in Singapore for a class that
Oh, okay.
I was auditing, and that class is an immersion class into the Singapore city area with different leaders, seeing what they are doing for their community
Mm-hmm.
development, pretty much. And it's something that stood out, though, that I took away from them, is that starting small.
Mm,
So it was kind of like despite these speakers were selected on different levels, they pretty much had something in common, where they started from nothing pretty much and built something really great. And it's something that I took back, that because my mind is always about large scale impact.
uh-huh.
And so for me, it's okay. How can I maybe be okay with the small scale impact, and
Hmm.
then maybe it multiply from there on.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And what's one leadership lesson you've learned over the years that you live by, or it's very close to you? Just one example. There must be tons of it, but just one.
Well, I do believe that the first person to lead is yourself.
Hmm.
And I also know that the hardest person to lead is yourself. So I keep reminding myself too that if I want to be a better leader, it starts with me. And I always on my bio it have be the change you wish to see from Mahatma Gandhi. And so that is a lesson that I keep reminding myself that if I want to see changes happen, that it starts with me, and I shouldn't be complaining unless I'm willing to do something about it.
Great, great. Good night to you folks. And for those of you that are watching now or will be watching in the future, thank you as always for supporting. We're speaking to Dr. Shanti Persaud. You can find her information on the Guyanese Own Businesses page, and I've tagged her page so you can follow her as well. And businesses out there, especially those in Guyana, please do reach out to Shanti. Reach out, get some professional leadership coaching going on there. We've got a developing country, and as you've heard, sometimes it's like pulling teeth, right? When you're going into some companies just to get out of those old ways and to start the transformation, right? So we
Yep.
do have someone, we have Dr. Shanti with us, and she's willing to start this process. So please do reach out to her, and her information is on the Guyanese Own Business page. And Shanti, if you can go ahead with some of your basic contact info for the viewers, please.
Yeah, so you can actually contact us on WhatsApp. I'm not sure if that's a common thing,
Mhm.
to your viewers, but it's an easy way to contact our office on 592-621-0440. And you can send any question. We are always willing to serve and to add value to anyone that asks for something. If pretty much as I can help, I do help. There are many people who reach out on my LinkedIn profile and ask, "Can I have a session with you?" And I freely book as long as I'm available. Or when I'm available, I book them. We do have the session, and it's be some really interesting conversations and perspective to help them to see things differently per
Mhm.
se. So yeah, you could reach out to us on 621-0440 and ask any question. And also our business page is lead2influence.com. We have our website. We have also Facebook and LinkedIn also. You could check us out there too.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for that, Shanti. Welcome to Ms. Vanita, all the way out in beautiful Burpees with us tonight here on Let's Chat in Guyanese Own Businesses. And so we've spoken a lot about what you do and what's going on in Guyana. You've traveled, obviously. You just came back from Singapore. You've done some conferences internationally. Do you have workshops locally, or do you have plans on having workshops locally?
So we do have a lot of training that we do publicly, and majority of time though is it's done like privately. So a company might ask to design something, whether it's communication, whatever is the area of
Mhm.
concern, and we tailored something specifically for that organization. Otherwise, we do have general workshops and where we have like a DISC and you learn about different profiles. We do emotional intelligence, and so those are some key things. Lately, we had an employee engagement workshop because these are some things that we find that is lacking, or maybe areas that people are struggling with and want to know more. How can they lead themselves better
Uh-huh.
in all these aspects?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
yeah, go
you
ahead.
can yeah, you could reach out when we have our next workshop because only last week we had 2 days of employee engagement. We do usually do a international leadership conference once a year too. So like last year we had about 500 people that would have attended that event
Wow.
and lives being impacted. That is our goal is our KPI is number of lives being impacted.
Oh, 500. That's pretty and that was in the Georgetown area?
That is in Georgetown,
In
yes.
Georgetown. Oh, okay.
So
That's
sometimes we take the conference in other regions too.
okay.
But as I said, I find that many people are now willing to sacrifice to, you know, attend stuff. It's like if it's still foreign, and especially some regions, even one region, one year, someone in a city council, working in the city council, asked me, what is leadership?
Mhm.
So what is this leadership conference? What is leadership? Okay, so, people still don't understand
Yeah.
certain things, and so if they don't understand, I'm not sure how well are they even leading themselves.
Yeah, we got our mentality growing up in like Guyana and seeing stuff. We got to get away from that tunnel vision and be more open-minded when it comes to these things. Because a lot of times I've heard it, I know you've heard it, maybe more for sure, more than I've heard it. That oh yeah, we know what we're doing. We don't need that. We can figure it out. But it hurts their employees, and in the long run, it'll hurt the community, right? And
Yep,
it'll hurt.
and they do the same thing over and over, and
Yeah.
then they're expecting a different results.
Hmm.
So I usually tell them I'm not the one calling you foolish, like Albert Einstein said that it's insanity to do the same thing over and over. So if it's not working, what are you doing?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, for sure. And I know we're coming up to 32 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock Eastern time. And for those of you that will be watching on YouTube, thank you so much for subscribing. And remember, folks, if you're watching on Facebook, Facebook has started to delete the live videos. So a lot of our previous interviews have been deleted from the platform. But don't worry, I do have them saved and they're being downloaded. Oh, well, they're all on YouTube, and this interview here will be uploaded onto YouTube right after tonight. So, Shanti, what's one advice you'll give to someone who'd like to become a more impactful leader?
I think that is a desire.
Mm,
You got a desire to do that. And so I would say to you, maybe look at what is the maybe mark you want to leave on the world before
mhm,
you die. That what would you want to say that you have done per se, or what is the impact that you've made? What does this life of significance look like, you know, before you die? And so it just come back to, where am I at right now, and what do I want to do so that I could say at the last breath that, what, I have done everything that I wanted to do in life, and I've created some form of impact. I don't know in whatever area might be, but I have left a legacy of something, whatever that might be for you.
yeah, you left that mark and something that can continue after we've gone, and that's what everyone should be aiming for, right? We're just passing through this life. Just leave
It's
something
like a
positive.
simple, yeah, a simple way to is like, can I leave the world a little bit better than what I
Hmm.
found it?
Hmm.
In whatever way could you have done that, and then start working towards it so that at the end of your life you could say, well, you know what, I did do this particular thing. Or maybe it's just one life you have helped and
Yeah,
transformed or impacted, and that person went on to impact many other people eventually. So maybe that, but the idea is look at your legacy. What is it that you want to leave on this earth when you're gone?
I love that. I see things similar, very similar. We're here for a short time. Just make an impact, leave something that others can learn from or help later in the future. We all have kids, right? We want to leave a legacy for them and for others to say, hey, they were in this life, but they did do this, and we can continue and grow up on that. So
Definitely.
once again, Shanti, thank you so much. I know I promised you 35 minutes. It's 35 minutes after 7. It was very insightful, very helpful. A lot of info that I didn't really understand personally on the life of a transformation leader, a professional leader, someone that can go in and change the lives and change the way companies operate these days. So I really have to thank you for your time tonight. And is there anything else you'd like to say to our viewers before we say goodbye to them?
I would just leave you with that, on a daily basis, that you make the most of it and don't let it slip you by as you're getting older and you can't get it back. I have this obsession with time because I know once it's gone, you cannot get it back.
Oh
So,
yeah.
what are you doing with it? Make it count every single day. Just make it count.
Awesome. Great, great last words on this segment. And hopefully we get a chat again in the future. I'll
Yeah,
have you on again and we get a get some better feedback from our community in Guyana. We get
yeah,
more and more
maybe open
folks.
for some questions or something that we can talk.
Yes, yes, for sure. I got Mr. Trevor Dan Paul on the live. Good night to you, Trevor, out in New York. I'll be speaking to Trevor next week. And
Uh,
we'll continue. You know Trevor as well. We all went to St. Joseph High. So good night to you,
Hi,
Trevor.
Trevor.
And Shanti, once again, thank you so much. And for the folks that are watching, that's Dr. Shanti Persaud. We've been chatting with for the past 35 minutes. So thanks, Shanti, and hopefully we'll speak soon.
Thank you, Wasim. Thank you for having me.
All
And
right,
good
take
night to all of your viewers.
yeah, all right, good night. Goodbye, Shanti. Have a great night. And for those of you guys, thank you so much for watching. Do have a safe night and goodbye until next week, Tuesday. I'll be here. I'll advertise my next guest. Take care and goodbye for now.